What's up, everybody? Hey, look, before we get this video started, I want to let you all know next Wednesday, December 14th, here in Maryland, we're going to be doing a real estate mixer. Now, we're going to be doing a mixer. Now, this mixer is going to be an opportunity for people to just come by, chill, and talk real estate. You're going to get a chance to meet some really cool people, some dope people in the industry. Not only myself, but you're also going to get a chance to meet some hard money lenders. We're going to have an Airbnb coach there. We're also going to have a real estate developer there, somebody who actually does new construction. And most importantly, we're going to have my mentor, Charles Blair, there, who's taught me a lot of the things that I know today. So next Wednesday, December 14th, here in Maryland, the information is going to be in the link below. It's free, completely free. Come out, have some drinks. It's going to be festive. It's really here for the holidays. And I hope to see all of you all there, especially if you've ever wanted to get a chance to meet me and my team and the people around me. I hope to see you all there. All right, with no further ado, let's get the video started. All right. What's up, everybody? Back here with another video. It's a beautiful day outside, actually. So we're back here in Prince George's County. We're actually back at the subject to property. So if you saw our last video on subject to, bought a property subject to existing financing, and I told y'all I'm only going to be in this property for about 30 to 45 days. So I'm gonna take you all inside, show you all the progress we've made so far, and then I'm also going to give you all some advice on how you want to, or really some advice on things to avoid when doing a subject to, because I don't want you all to be out here losing money. So with no further ado, let's get started. But hold up, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, go ahead and hit that notification bell and hit that like button, because I know you're going to love the video. So with no further ado, let's go. All right, guys, so just before we go inside, let me show you all what we've done outside already. So we took advantage of the time that we had with the good weather. So we did the little nice landscaping right here. Didn't do too much. Put down some nice little bushes just so that there's some curb appeal. Over here, let me show you right here real quick. We're replacing all of this wood right here that's damaged. So you see we took it off. We're gonna replace it with new wood, and we're gonna paint the whole bay window so it looks fresh and new. The front door, we put up new house numbers. So put out a nice little modern house number, and then new lights around the house as well, new exterior lights. I put one coat of paint on the door, black, just to see what the door would look like. If I painted it black, I actually like it, so we're gonna put another coat. Here's a little pro tip: if you're painting your properties, or if you're painting the door, put one coat on in the beginning, and don't worry about how it looks, because you're gonna wanna put another coat on at the end. You don't wanna put your second coat on before the construction is done, because when you have materials coming in and out of the property, contractors coming in and out of the property, the front door gets scratched a lot. So don't even waste your time. Put your final coat on at the end of the project. Let's go inside. All right, so give you all a quick tour. Hopefully the house looks a little different since the last video. We put up fresh paint. We also put up all the new lights. So you see the lights hanging. These are all the recessed lights that are hanging. And we put up new ceiling lights as well. So this is going to be like your family room or living room. Now what we're going to do in here is I'm going to do some type of a little accent wall here to give this room some identity. I know the walls are fresh white, so I like to balance the fresh white with other colors that pop out. So we're going to do something probably nice on this wall here to give this room some identity. Now this room, here we are in the dining room. We put up the chandelier. We also put up this herringbone. Actually, this is a chevron pattern accent wall, and we're going to paint this wall black. So this wall will be black, and it's going to pop. It's going to look real nice. It's going to be a really nice backdrop for the dining space. We're going to come up here in the kitchen. If you notice all these lights hanging, these are all the new recessed lights that we put in. Before, there was like 10 recessed lights in the kitchen and no lights in the living room. Well, now we have, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 10 lights running all throughout the living room and the kitchen. So it gives the living room and the kitchen more balance with the lights. Also, we took out the upper cabinets. So what we did was we took out the upper cabinets and we put this shiplap board up. And we're gonna paint this shiplap board, but we put this up so that we don't have to spend a lot of time and a lot of money putting up tile backsplash. I think this gives it a nice clean look, and I think the floating shelves are gonna give it a really nice, cool look in the kitchen. And that's honestly something that you don't really see in this neighborhood. You know, everything in this neighborhood is kind of cookie cutter. So giving this house something different, or giving the neighborhood something different, is gonna bring more eyeballs to this property, and hopefully more buyers and a higher price. So with the cabinets, look, we're doing this house on a budget. So we're keeping the lower cabinets. If you see here, we're sanding them down. You see how these are discolored now? We're sanding these down and we're gonna paint them white. The countertops are black granite, so we're just gonna clean them off and keep them black. And it's gonna have a nice contrast with the white shiplap boards, with the black countertops and the white cabinets. And we're gonna have black hardware on the cabinets. So we put in a new black faucet that just needs to be cleaned off. The kitchen is gonna get all new appliances. The fridge goes there, on that wall over there. And let me bring you all into here real quick. Watch the step. Here's the fireplace. So we're gonna do a nice fireplace wall with a mantle here. Give this living room some identity, kind of make this fireplace pop. I'm all about giving empty spaces identity, making the house stand out from the rest of the houses on the block. So that's all I'm big on. I'm big on all of that. All right, let's go out on the deck real quick. So I don't remember what the deck looked like in the last video, but I know it didn't look like this. So what we did was reinforce the base. We also put up new railing all the way around. And we're gonna give this whole deck a fresh coat of paint, and it's gonna look brand new. Now, this deck is not brand new, but it's gonna look brand new once we're done with it. So just so you know, on this deck, we probably spent about $600 on 600 bucks on materials, on the lumber, and then if that, and then the labor to put up the railing and all that was about, I think, $1,000. So about 1,600 bucks got this whole deck back to life. So we're gonna put a fresh coat of paint and we'll be done. All right, guys, so like promised, I said I was gonna give you all some advice and things to look out for in all my videos. So when doing a subject to deal, there are some things that you definitely want to make sure you do before you execute this transaction. And that's called cover your ass and doing your due diligence. And what I mean by that is, you need to make sure that you have done all the things necessary to protect yourself through this transaction. The first thing you wanna do before you spend any money, before you transfer any money to the seller, before you close on the property, you need to make sure that you hire a title company to do a proper title search on the property. You need to know who and everybody that has some type of claim to the property. You don't want to find out that there's a second mortgage on the house and you didn't know about it. You didn't want to find out that there's a lien on the property. Let's say a contractor did work on the house 10 years ago and they weren't paid, so they put a lien on the property. You don't want to find out that the homeowner didn't pay their taxes and there's a tax lien on the property or some type of judgment on the property. If there's something on the property, you need to know about it, because all of that can affect the deal. For example, this house. We knew there was a mortgage on the house. The seller said there was a mortgage on the house. But when we did title search, we found out there's a second mortgage on the house. So the first mortgage was $260 and the second mortgage was $80,000. So we had to let the seller know, like, hey, look, you have a second mortgage on the house and that affects this transaction. So we still did the deal, but we had to restructure it knowing that there's a second mortgage, because that $80,000 second mortgage had to come out of the seller's proceeds. If you didn't do your due diligence and you bought the property not knowing there's a second mortgage, well, guess what? Now you lost that $80,000 and not the seller. So make sure you do your due diligence. Make sure you do a proper title search, because it is very important, very important, very important. So let me show you all the beautiful view on this deck. I think this is a good selling point right here. A lot of yard. If you notice, a lot of the other houses have smaller lots, but this backyard is huge. Now, one thing we are gonna do is we're gonna power wash the whole house. So all this dirt and grime that you see on the house, all of that will be gone. We put up a new light back here as well. All right, let's go check out the upstairs and see what we've done. Oh, one thing I want you to notice, all the doorknobs are black and all the hinges are black. All the hinges, you want everything to match. You want everything to be consistent through the property. So the whole upstairs is actually painted already. All the bedrooms have been painted. Now, let me show you all the bathroom real quick. Now, one thing we did was we replaced the floor. We put down this luxury vinyl tile. We also replaced the countertop. So this is a nicer countertop. The countertop previously was damaged. So we put a nice Calcutta quartz countertop on, and we're actually gonna paint these cabinets. We wanna paint them white. And that's pretty much all we're gonna do in here. We're gonna clean everything else up. We're gonna put the toilet in, and we're gonna put in a new shower head, which I already have, and a new faucet, and we'll be done in here. This is the closet. Carpet's gonna be replaced in here, and the shelves are gonna go back up, and we'll be done in there. Here's another bathroom in the hallway. Now, in here, we're replacing all the hardware, so all the chrome, we're swapping it out with black. We already started with the light up here. You see there's a black light up here. And put the toilet back in. We already replaced the floor, and the bathroom's already been painted, so we're almost done in here as well. Bedrooms. All right, you know, not much to see in here, but the bedrooms have been painted. Really in here, all we needed was fresh paint, a new light, which we put in with a black trim, and carpet. We'll be done in here as well. So I'm thinking we'll probably be done in this house within the next 10 to 14 days. I have 2 crews working on the property. Same thing in here, putting in a new ceiling fan, fresh paint in here, and doors are in. We need one more door right here, but we'll be done in here, then carpet. All right guys, so another piece of advice that I wanna share with you all. So other than just running title, you also wanna do this. You wanna make sure that you get 2 documents. One document is the mortgage payoff, and the second document you wanna get is a current mortgage statement. Now you're gonna need the seller to provide this to you before you close. The reason you want a mortgage statement, or let's start with the mortgage payoff. You want the mortgage payoff because you need to know exactly how much is owed to the bank. Now the seller, bless their heart, but all the time, they don't know what they're talking about. So let's say they only owe $180,000 on the mortgage. But if you get a mortgage payoff that's saying they owe $280,000, guess how much they really owe? $280,000. So you need to make sure that you get a mortgage payoff from the mortgage company so that you are fully aware of how much is owed to the bank, because that's the mortgage that you're taking over. The second thing is you need a current mortgage statement. That mortgage statement is going to tell you 2 things: what the mortgage payment is every month, and then also if the mortgage is current. You don't want to buy a property subject to and find out just $20,000 in payments that haven't been made and the property has fallen into foreclosure. Oh, you talk about losing money, you're gonna lose a lot of money if you buy a house subject to this in foreclosure. So with this house, the seller did tell us that they were behind on payments. So when we bought the property, or when we actually got under contract, we were aware that the property was behind, but when we got the mortgage statement, they were actually $7,000 behind. So we had to renegotiate with the seller for them to pay the property's proceeds, or take $7,000 out of the proceeds to get the mortgage current. Because I need the property current in good standing when I buy the property, so that I can do what I need to do with the mortgage without having to worry about foreclosure. Because what happens with foreclosure is, not only does the current seller or the seller go through the foreclosure and have a foreclosure on their name, I lose the property. So everything that I put into the property, I could lose if there's a foreclosure. And then also during foreclosure, what happens is the mortgage payment or the mortgage balance gets increased significantly because of attorney fees, late fees, and penalties and all that stuff. So you want to avoid foreclosure by all costs when you're doing subject to. So make sure that you get the mortgage statement and the mortgage payoff before you execute the deal. All right, let's go check out the basement. All right, guys, so we're in the basement. Real quick, you can take a quick look at the bathroom. In the bathroom, actually this tile was already down here, so the tile is good. We did put in a new vanity and a new toilet. So we started the vanity and we started putting in the toilet. And there's actually a shower behind this door here. We're gonna swap out all the hardware in there. The whole basement has been painted already. We put in these new lights, these new LED lights. The doors have been painted, we just gotta put them on the hinges. And we put these new lights in. We put this new sliding door in right here. And this basement will be done in probably a couple days. All we have to do is put carpet down, put the doors back on the hinges, and finish that bathroom, and we'll be done. So, as you can see, we're moving along. I mean, this house really will be done in the next 10 to 14 days. My goal is to have this property on the market by December 15th at the latest. I want to hopefully have a buyer before the new year. So, we're not messing around with this property. All right, guys, so before we wrap things up, let me share with you all one more piece of advice that you definitely want to take heed to when you're doing a subject to transaction. When you're doing a subject to transaction, you want to make sure that you are reaching out to an attorney or a title company that is familiar with this type of transaction. Now, I know us investors, we like to do deals with sellers on a piece of paper, sometimes a napkin, but this is not one of those transactions. You need to make sure that you have an attorney who's drafting up all the paperwork that knows what they're doing, because this is the type of transaction that you want to make sure your paperwork is in order. Also, you want to make sure that the title company or the attorney is recording the transaction with the county or recording the new deed with the county. You need that done for two reasons. One, you need it done because you're going to need title insurance. You're not going to be able to get title insurance on a house if you don't have title. And that title has to be recorded. So you definitely want to make sure you get title insurance. And in order for you to get title insurance, you need to make sure that the deed is recorded. And the second thing you want to make sure that you record the deed is because when you sell the property, or whenever you go to sell the property, whether it's 6 months from now, a year from now, 6 weeks from now, or 60 years from now, you need to make sure that your name or your business name is on title. Because when you go sell the property, that new buyer is going to have a title company. When they look up title, if your name isn't on title, they're not going to be able to sell the property from you. They're going to need to contact the previous seller. And guess what? If the previous seller has deceased or died since you bought it, well, good luck with that. Now you got a whole mess on your hands. So you need to make sure that the deed is recorded so that you're the new owner on title. So those are my best advice for a subject to. These are things that I learned, not necessarily the hard way, but these are things that I just knew that I needed to do to be responsible in this transaction. And I don't want you all to make these mistakes because you can lose a lot of money. For example, let's just run through the numbers and the money that I put out on this property already. And if you remember from the last video, I gave the seller, I think 50 grand already up front on the property. I think it was 40 grand. 40 grand up front on the property. And I'm spending $35,000 on this property to fix it up. So I'm gonna be in around $75,000. And I can't afford to lose $75,000 by not covering my ass or doing my due diligence to make sure that this deal is done properly so that I turn a profit. So all of you all out there, take my advice. Hopefully you all like this video. And next week we're gonna do another video and we're gonna keep them pumping. So until then, get money. I'll see you.